I'm Mila Horsey with Minford Media, and since state testing is starting in our district, we thought it would be helpful to share some testing tips. We interviewed a few students who earned perfect scores on at least one of their state tests.
I would say my biggest tip is make sure you get good rest before the test, and also always reread stuff. If you're confused, reread the question multiple times and make sure you take as much time as you need as the test allows. And also always have mints.
Do the best you can, and if you have to go back over, skip over a few questions if you have to, and go back and answer them later into the test. That's what I normally do.
Yes, so for all the state tests that I've taken, it's not cramming it in the last week or the last night before the test or getting good sleep. I mean, obviously you want to get good sleep, you want to get breakfast, but a big part of it is paying attention in class, doing your work to the best of your ability, and actually learning the coursework throughout the year, and that's going to prepare you most for the state test.
Around as much time as they give me.
So for my state test, I usually spend as long as possible. Like all the time limit, I would usually use all of it. Reading through the questions, is very important. Make sure you understand everything. Reading all the questions, you want to take as much time as possible to realize you understand everything.
I'm an anxious test taker, so I take a while. I double check, triple check. Sometimes I go back there and I'm like, oh, I question myself all the time, so I take about as much time as they give me.
I normally take up most of the time that they give me, except I leave a little time at the end to answer any questions I had start that I struggled on.
I usually try my best to take up the whole time. I like to spend the first half answering the questions, then I'll go back and check every one that I flagged after that.
I usually spend every minute that they allow on the test. I spend a lot of time going through the questions the first time, and I answer every question to the best of my ability. And then at the end, I'll go back and then redo all of those questions that were flagged. I usually end up going with just my gut choice.
Yeah. Even if I don't 100% know the answer, I think I just try as hard as I can and just pick the most logical answer.
Yeah, so what I do is I go through the test first. I'll answer all the questions, and I make sure I read through all the answers, make sure none of them, sound weird. And I also will use the tools to mark ones out. So if there's two answers I think are really close to each other, I'm like, oh, okay, let me reread the question, and then if it's for reading, I'll reread the passage to make sure what answer sounds the best.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I try to answer everything as clearly as possible and getting everything aligned with the question to the answer. And also, it's always best just to go with your gut choice.
Yes.
So yeah, for me, I remember on the state test, I'd check it 3 times, especially on the math one. I would go in and I'd go through it one time, make sure I understood it, and then I'd go through a second time and rewrite all of the equations, see if I got the same answer. If I did it, I would just keep reading it until I knew it was right. And I'd check it for the third time to make sure I didn't make any mistakes, and then I'd usually turn the test in.
If I have time, yeah. If I don't, I trust my gut.
Yeah, I like to flag the ones I'm not sure about, and then I'll just double check every other one.